Hello, and welcome to another edition of Ask Ben W., the video series where I get to tackle exactly one question as I walk from my parked car to my office in Denver Public Schools. Today, we're going to continue with the lovely theme of talking about the Digital Educator and Personalized Learning Academy on June 16th and 17th. We are going to ask the question that goes something like this: how should you compensate learning? Now, we talked about how do we value people who are doing the learning, and how do we sort of focus on creating a great experience for everybody. But one thing that is super valuable to me is that we honor and value the people who are engaged in the act of facilitation, that are creating the experience. And we have in the past had a sort of a plan in place for compensating those people that presented at a professional learning event. There is language in the Denver Public Schools teacher contract that talks about essentially an hourly rate for presenters of in-services, which is rather specific and is a much older term for what PD events have been. And there's some good things about it and some not so good things about it. But one of the things that I've really been thinking about a lot is how we do things differently. How do we focus on the actual value that a presenter, a facilitator, is providing to others? And for me, it comes down to, have you created a learning experience that benefits all of the learners? Have you personalized the professional learning experience? Have you empowered the teachers and the leaders that are in your charge to engage in the type of learning that they need to move their classroom or their school forward? And the biggest difference there for me is, if we are paying people for in-service time, then we can keep on doing it the same way that we have always done it, the $33.19 per hour. But if we are paying people for specific outcomes, we are paying people for that personalized professional learning experience, if we are compensating and valuing the time that it takes to encourage collaboration across an entire school year and not just that single moment, if we are paying people for informal learning experiences where they don't have a group of 30 teachers or leaders in front of them and they are lecturing or doing a PowerPoint, like, if we are saying that it is something different, then we need to compensate them differently. And so, what I am proposing, and what I would like to see, is that we come up with a stipend for being a DEPLA facilitator that is the same for all different roles, right? Like, you could be coaching in one moment, you could be facilitating in another moment a session, you could be working with someone on developing a particular lesson, like actually just lesson planning with them. Like, all of those are roles that are perfectly appropriate. You could be planning for what you are going to do with the teachers and leaders at DEPLA. And so long as you are engaged in that work, you should be honored and valued, and you should be compensated. And so the reason why I think this could be valuable is because I would like to set up a structure for a different way of compensating people, where we actually are building in a specific amount of effort, but that we are paying for the outcomes and the thoughtfulness and the professionalism that don't boil a person's efforts down to a single hourly wage, and rather focus on a lot stronger of a contribution than, you know, what you are doing in the moments where you are actually in front of people facilitating, or the moments that you are putting together a slide deck. That there is a lot more there that could be, I would say, honored, valued, and compensated. So, with that in mind, I would like to put forward a proposal for that, and then actually get it approved and sanctioned, so that not only can we use this approach, but that others can use this approach as well. So that it isn't something where you either are paying for someone's hourly rate, or you are asking them to volunteer, which is the other option. If they are volunteering for the professional learning event, then you don't have to pay them at all, although it's somewhat of a gray area in that it is still sort of for the district or for a school, and it becomes a little bit somewhat wonky. And so how do we come up with a better approach to compensating people and honoring and valuing their time, but that we're paying them for specific outcomes and efforts? So that's my thinking right now. If you have any additional thoughts about this, please do leave it in the comments. Or if you would like to ask your own question, please use the hashtag AskBenW, and I would love to answer it on my walk to school another time. Hope you have a great day of learning.